Perfect. So hi everyone, I'm Karina Karn. I'm the host for this workshop today. This is all about explaining about the revenue gap in relation to signups that are not converting. Just a bit about me, about my background. I spent the last 14 years obsessed with one question: why do customers choose? My work, which you can find in my 2 books, focusing on bringing that dangerous gap between a great product and a leaking funnel. So I advise over 35 startups on how to stop losing money. I start scaling by aligning messaging with via psychology. I operate internationally. I'm based in the UK, London. So let's crack on. So yeah, we're going to dive into the revenue gap audits to find out why your growth is flatlining despite having a pipeline. We'll cover everything from perception alignment to time to value acceleration. By the end, you'll have my triple sale toolkit, the same framework I use with my private clients to move the revenue needle. At the end of the session, we will have the opportunity to ask any questions. We will have around 7 to 5 minutes for everyone. And yeah, so let's start. And the first one, as you can see, it's the most common. So one is the messaging gap. Your product is great, but users aren't getting it. This is very common. Number 2 is the pipeline plateau. Yeah, plenty of interest, but there are no sales. Quite common as well in SaaS. And simply urgency. You need to fix the leak before the budget run out. Yeah. And yeah, I see. That's fine. Perfect. So number 1 is the most common for me. I've seen that with all the SaaS businesses that I've been working with. Let's go to the next one. Here is the brutal truth that most founders in the UK and globally try to ignore. 95 to 98% of your pipeline leaves without taking a single action. Yeah, they aren't leaving because your product is bad, but because the value isn't instantly perceived. In a world of infinite SaaS options, yeah, if you don't win their brain in the first few seconds, yeah, the users, your customers, your clients, you have lost the revenue. Yeah, so today I'm going to show you how to be part of that 2% that converts. Yeah. Perfect. Now let's get specific here. Yeah, please scan the QR codes on the screen and go to slido.com. I want to see which part of your revenue engine is failing right now. Is it a messaging problem where they don't get it? Is it a targeting problem? Or is it that killer friction during the trial that prevents them from even paying you? Yeah. So I will give you 20 seconds to vote. Your answers will help me tailor the next part of the workshop to your bottlenecks. Yeah. Let's give a few more minutes. You may focus on what we see, the data points, but you miss what is happening in the buyer's minds. Yeah. We need to stop looking at the surface and start fixing the internal justification for the purchase. Now that we see the invisible leaks, let's look at the framework to plug them for good. Yeah. As you can see, those are the most common reasons. Sometimes it's because there is a drop-off because of lack of understanding. They don't understand what to do next, or the products, they may think that that product doesn't offer a solution. Sometimes it's in their own teams, for example, they cannot justify why buying your products, yeah? Maybe the price is not matching their budgets at that quarter, or the competitors, yeah? Another one that is very common. And then obviously the onboarding. Yeah, sometimes the onboarding is very complex. They are afraid of losing data or training the whole team or the data migration, a few things, yeah. And yeah, so think about your buyers day to day. Yeah, they are likely busy, distracted, and overwhelmed. Yeah. When we talk about complexity tolerance, yeah, we're asking how much work are you forcing them to do just to understand your products? If the journey feels like high friction, yeah, and they have low tolerance, yeah, they won't just wait, they will churn immediately. So every click is a calculation of perceived friction versus expected value. If the friction wins, you lose revenue. Yeah, so always use that formula that I use to see if there is going to be a potential drop-off. So we like to think buyers are spreadsheets with legs, but they aren't. Decisions are not logical. As you know, emotions are the first one to influence a decision. Like, do I trust you? If your landing page or demo feels off, yeah, no feature list will save you, yeah. Risk. This is the biggest hurdle, yeah. Their internal monologue, yeah, is like, what if I waste my time? Yeah, they keep thinking about it. In a fast-paced environment, yeah, time is a more expensive currency than the subscription fee. And last one is direction. If they have to pause to think, like, what do I know now? Yeah, they're asking, I don't know what are the next steps. Yeah, you already lost them. Therefore, my goal today is to show you how to answer these 3 questions before the buyer has the chance to ask them. Yeah. So as you can see, this paragraph is where companies split out. We call it the battle of time to value. Look at the gap between signups and the green dots, yeah, the aha moments. In London's competitive landscapes, you don't have weeks to get them there. You barely have minutes. As the note says, yeah, if the time to value is too low, users abandon before the second login. They are making a psychological decision that your product it's more work than value. So our mission is in this workshop is to shrink that distance. Yeah. And yeah, we want to move that aha moment. Yeah. We want to move this as close to the sign up, yeah, as possible to secure that revenue. So I want to be clear on where we are playing today. This is not a critique of your customer success or design teams. Yeah, we are likely doing a great job. They are likely doing a great job within their scope, but we aren't doing traditional UX or just running ads here. This is a revenue strategy workshop, as I like to say, and it's at the bottom of the slides. Yeah, the friction in the UX and the churn in customer success are just symptoms. Yeah, the real disease starts in the ballroom. We are here to fix the high-level strategy and the strategic product marketing that dictates how the market perceives your value. If we get the category and the activation growth right, your other team's jobs, yeah, become 10 times easier. Yeah. So one of the biggest mistakes I see in SaaS is they act like parents, constantly chasing, forcing, and over-explaining. So yeah, you need to stop chasing. Don't burn your expensive RevOps resources trying to catch low-intent leads that were never going to buy anyway. Yeah. Stop forcing. If you force a conversion before the user has seen any success, you are getting any customers, you are just creating a future drop-off. And if you need a 20 slide deck or 3 one-pages to explain your value, your product's journey is broken. Decks don't move the needle, yeah? A system does. As I brought at the bottom, yeah, design the system. Your job is not babysit the lead, yeah? It's to build a funnel that works so smoothly they convince themselves, yeah? We tend to obsess over button colors, layouts, but the truth is pages don't buy, people do. If you aren't addressing the objections in their heads, no amount of optimization, yeah, will save your conversion. So the launch is a threat, yeah? Stop thinking of a launch as a one-time event. It's a continuous conversion, yeah? If the market is not reacting, your threat is broken. The playbook, you need to answer 3 things immediately. The why, yeah, the doubts, yeah, I mean, objections that users they may have, and lastly, the context. You need to think about what's happening in their world right now. If you don't put on your customers' shoes, it's impossible to offer value. You won't find out what are the gaps and the needs. So real-time message market fits, yeah. When I'm talking about it, I mean, don't wait for perfection. Use your customers' words and fears to build the message. That is how you win the aha moment in record time, yeah? In that moment, they will see, oh, yes, I need these products, yeah? So let's stop moving pixels and start moving the needle by solving the doubt. So let's talk about money. In B2B, price is a signal. Repositioning, value, yeah? The price signal, the high value necessity, the cheap product trap, and price perception. I'm talking here about success is not about being affordable. It's about how you frame the price within the context of the pain you are removing. Your price tells the market where you sit in the hierarchy. If you are too cheap, you are telling the world you are a budget tool, which creates a credibility issue, yeah? The high value necessity, yeah? High prices require high perceived necessity. If they don't feel the must-have factor, yeah, they will never justify the investments. And of course, the perception, yeah, be careful. Pricing too low attracts the wrong ICP, the wrong segment of users. And we are not here to be the cheapest. We are here to be the most necessary, yeah? This is a framework. This is how we fix it. I call it the triple sell framework. Think of your revenue engine like this ship, yeah? It doesn't matter how hard the wind blows if your sales are not aligned. Perception, yeah, is the first sale. This is about awareness, more importantly, how the market interprets your value. If they don't get it immediately, the sale is broken. Reach is the second one. You need the right ICP combined with a fast time to value. You can have the best leads, but if you're not too slow to deliver value, you lose momentum. And last one is momentum. When these two are broken, you get a compounded growth. as I've noted, they are separate departments. They are connected systems. Yeah, if one sales fail, yeah, growth slows down. If two fails, growth stops. Yeah. In my paid workshop, we spend the entire day auditing each of these for your specific business. I have a formula. So we had to align these three core drivers of your business engine. So as I said, the first sale is the perception. Yeah, the product is where value trapped behind confusing messaging. The solution for that, for the first sale, is positioning audits, yeah, for high intent ICPs. The second sale is reach, which is here is when you see you are attracting the wrong markets. So you need to do a better targeting for quality leads with fast time to value. Yeah. And the last one is the third one, the third sale, which is growth, yeah, momentum. This is the friction in the user journey, yeah? So the solution is activation fixes, yeah, that turn bias intent into revenue. So my approach is simple. We identify the friction, we apply the formula, and we move the revenue needle, yeah? The transformation roadmap, yeah? This is a journey where we take together. The transformation roadmap is not just about a small tweaks. It's about moving from leaky funnels to high velocity revenue. So this is more of the same. We start by bringing the gap between what you built and what we see. The goal is 100% alignment, eliminating buyer friction from the very first click. Reach, yeah. Next, we optimize the path for both demo and trial-led models. We accelerate time to value to 85% to ensure the pipeline never bottlenecks, yeah. And then momentum, yeah. Finally, we turn that high intent interest into a compounding revenue by identifying and removing growth killers to protect your margin as you scale. This is how you start growing with a system. So yeah, lastly, these are the key takeaways. Before we wrap up, yeah, let's look at what you're taking home today. So the revenue gap decoded. Yeah, you now know what's that a full pipeline is useless if it's leaking at the seams. The silo elimination, you have the language to bridge that dangerous gap between what marketing promises and what the product delivers. Time to value parity, you understand that TTV is not just a metric, it's your primary growth lever. And via equation, from now on, you look at every screen and email through the lens of perceived friction and expected value. And then alignment, you have the foundation of the triple sale framework to keep your perception, reach, and momentum in sync. All right, so we have time for about 5 to 6 quick fire cases. To keep this fast and ensure I give you the most value, please write your specific friction points or question in the chat now. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure to meet you all. If you have any more questions, you can reach me out on my LinkedIn. And it's been a pleasure to meet you all. And I see you next time. Thank you.